So welcome to the Riser Bex Cheese Awards 2025. My name is Vicky Rogerson and I'll be moderating this session today, which we're going to be doing C1 Blue Stilton. So I welcome two amazing judges this year, Paul Heisman from Railroad Clips and Keith from Good Food Magazine. Paul, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, hi, I'm Paul from Roadcliffe. I've been at Roadcliffe about 14 years on and off, and I've been involved in cheese for pretty much my working life and have no intentions of changing that.
Brian, Keith?
Welcome live from my son's bedroom. I am the editor of Good Food. I have a massive passion for cheese. I have my own cheese fridge. I judge for a variety of awards, and I'm an associate with the Cheese Academy. So I'm a passionator, if that's a word, about cheese.
It is now. Thanks, Keith. So today we'll be judging each of the cheeses across four key attributes. So that is appearance, aroma, texture, and taste. And flavour and taste are being upweighted in terms of the scoring. So you get more marks for the better that it tastes. So let's just crack on. And the first cheese we'll be judging is 1056. We'll go on appearance.
You're going to be a tough category, I think, because we know that the Stilton makers in the UK, well, you can only make it in the UK, can't you? Are just exceptional. They produce exceptional, consistent cheeses every year, and this, to me, looks like a fine example of that, Paul.
Yeah, yeah, I've got a nice level of bluing throughout the slice.
Yeah.
The rind's nice and thin. It's dry, there's no moisture on the rind. So yeah,
It's a really good point about the thin rind, because sometimes they can be a bit bricky.
It could be a bit gnarly, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, but this is this is lovely. Yeah, and the marbling, the blue goes right the way through or up to the edge of the cheese, which is nice to see as well.
It's a really lovely looking thing,
So
and gnarliness can put people off, and here
yeah,
you don't have it at all. It's probably one of the thinnest rinds I've seen on a Stilton.
yeah. So they'll maybe get some variants throughout the cheese. So my piece is from a well, either a bottom or a top corner, rather than just a middle piece. But that's again, that's with two outside edges. Again, that makes it even more refreshing to see the rind going, the blue going right up to the rind. So
On one side of mine, the blue is quite intense in the center, but when I turn over, it's a perfect distribution. So
yeah,
it depends on your perspective.
YouTube artisan cheeses. Yeah.
Is there any reason to give this less than 4 marks? That's what we've been talking about, isn't it? Why mark down just for the sake of it when you go, this is a fantastic looking product.
Yeah, so on the slice I have, I would happily score that a 10.
Yeah, I would as well.
That's what I would have.
I've just got a lovely piece that's just broken off in. You can see the blue penicillin
A bit more intense in
there.
that piece. Yeah.
That's got 10 for that.
The blue's finding its way through all the fissures in the curd, so you are occasionally going to get the odd hot spot.
Now, Stilton's one of those things I've hesitated to work out exactly how to cut it, because it feels it's too crumbly to go all the way down the face.
Yeah.
So I tend to go through the
I think you just cut thin slices that way,
and then take it that way. Yeah.
Texture-wise, it's very creamy. It holds together. It's not sticky.
What about aroma, Paul?
Nice.
It smells clean and lactic. It's not sending off any odors.
No, I mean I've got the odors I'm getting off this is very, I'd say is typical for a good Stilton. So you're going to get difference between the centre of the cheese where you just got the paste and the blue. For me on this one is just a sort of a fresh lactic sort of aroma, and then obviously as you get to the rind, things do start to change. But again, it's just that smell of nice clean cellars. This one is beautiful actually. I would say it's nice and thin. It's almost got this sort of furry, velvety feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah, so aroma for me again, I would give 10. There's no off notes. There's nothing coming. There's no sort of intense aromas of blue or any other notes coming off it. It's just a nice rounded, lactic, creamy. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
into the cellars. Yeah,
I think the texture is interesting here because you can often see as soon as you put your knife near a Stilton, sometimes they can just basically fall apart.
yeah,
Whereas this has got a lot of integrity.
yeah. It's nice and creamy. It feels creamy when you cut through
Yeah,
it.
it's very breakable. It's not falling to pieces. Yeah, it's a nice finger cheese, which I wouldn't normally associate with a Stilton. So creamy,
Yeah.
satisfying. Oh, it's making me sigh. I feel like Meg Ryan.
Look, don't do too many demonstrations of that.
Yeah,
But it's creamy and unctuous, and it melts in the mouth. And then the blue is just the piquancy in the blue is just a really nice level where it gives you that a hit of the blue, but it's not hitting the back of your throat or giving you any sort of burning sensations in the back of the throat. It's just really
that word there, Paul. I was looking for a word, and that's it. That's my word of the day. Piquancy. It really is. That blue is piquant. It's
yeah,
absolutely wonderful.
yeah,
But it's a bit of sharpness, a bit of acidity, but it's got sweet. It's also got salt without it being salty.
yeah,
I think that is a really roundly, beautifully balanced,
yeah,
complex piece of cheese.
yeah.
So what would you give for texture? What would you give for taste?
I'd give it the texture a 10. I think it's quite an exceptional texture, actually. I think it's very good. And flavour wise, you know, I'm struggling to give it anything other than top marks, if I'm honest. I think it's that balance of the texture, the bit of lactic coming through from the paste of the cheese and the freshness, and there's a little bit of fruitiness in the background, and then that piquant hit of the blue, but it's not a big harsh hit. It just balances the whole cheese out really, really nicely.
It's a cheese for me that I mean, it's made me swoon, so that tells you what I feel about it. But if you go into a cheesemonger's and you get a sample, and then this makes your eyes roll in the back of your head, there you go. I've got to have some of that. It's a 10 for me. It's a 10 for me, Matthew.
Great, full marks.
Yeah.
So the next one is 1071.
This is a very interesting category because I think we all know that Stilton has had, it's had a lot of competition come through in the last few years. There's a lot of blues out there.
Yeah.
It's great to see a category all on its own rather than it just be with the blues, because I think it really is the king of cheeses.
It is, yeah, and I think the key to this is really getting younger people really engaged with it as well, because a lot of younger people are tending towards the more continental style blues, which are a bit creamier and a bit sweeter. But when you do get them tasting a good Stilton, they suddenly go, "Oh yeah, didn't know about that." And
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who might think they don't know blues, but when you give them something like that cheese that we've just had, and perhaps this one as well, they go, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it was that
yeah,
creamy, that complex, that sweet, actually." So here we are on our second Stilton.
yeah,
The rind's a little bit thicker. You can see the needle marks here,
yeah, which is fine. Yeah,
which
yeah,
is where the bacteria has been injected, the penicillin has been injected into the cheese to give you this lovely, more subtle, I would think, blue marbling than with the previous cheese.
yeah. Mine's not so. It's not so evenly distributed. Again, got edge pieces here, but um, it's it's yeah, it's not as well marbled. Um, it's not really going up to the edge. and there's more. Even though you're going to get hot spots, so there's a lot more hot spots and bald spots with this piece. So for me, this would be probably an 8 sort of appearance for this one.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing here. There's a kind of,
Again,
there's a graduation into the rind,
yeah,
but little bluing in this corner. The
yeah,
concentration of the blue seems to be more into the center of it. It might make it a milder cheese. Let's have a look at that. But I'll go along with you, Paul, with the appearance of being an 8.
but we've given these plenty of time to breathe and get oxygen into them, so they've had plenty of time to allow the blue to develop.
The aroma.
So yeah, I keep feeling about aroma. I do apologise. So I've got more.
It's more pronounced. It's more
There's more of the blue coming through,
Yeah.
I suppose, isn't there?
well,
Yeah, but again,
it's subtle, isn't it? But it's not anything to be fault.
no. Then again, as you get those closer to the rind, it's you're getting the smell of the cellars. Again, the
Yeah.
rind's nicely thin as well.
Yeah.
And then the aroma coming off the rind is nice.
Yeah. You can smell the cheese room on that,
It's got that velvety feel to it again.
And so I'm going to cut into here. Again, there's no
I'd score it high on aroma. I think it's if anything, the blues perhaps coming through a little bit more on the aroma. So yeah, so again, it'd be top end.
You want to go 10 on aroma?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Right. This is texturally, it's a bit stickier,
Yeah.
a bit wetter.
Well, when I first opened it earlier on today, there was quite a bit of moisture in the on the cheese. So
It's sticky in the mouth as well. It's a little bit.
It's a much wetter, stickier piece.
It's a little bit. I don't want to use the word claggy because that sounds negative, but it's not. It just hangs around a bit more, and you've got to, you've got to kind of work a bit harder to get it down. It tastes wonderful, but I think the texture is a little bit too sticky. What do you want to say on the texture points wise?
Yeah, it's in the mouthfeel as well. It's a stickier mouthfeel as well. So
8.
yeah, I'd go 8 on the yeah.
And then on to taste.
The taste is it's sweet. It's very sweet.
There's a sweet, almost sort of fermented fruit back note to it.
But it's sweet that then becomes bitter at the end. Slightly bitter at the end. Billy Crystal isn't getting embarrassed in this scenario, don't worry. Yeah, I'm going 8 with the flavor on this one, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's sort of dominated a little bit by that sort of fermented fruit flavour and a bit of bitterness on the end, really, which distracts a bit away from the sweetness of the paste, but also the blue as well. So I've tried it from different parts of the slice, and it seems to be consistent across it. So bit of salt coming through, which is nice. Yeah, there's I like the salt that's coming through on that slice, but yeah, I think overall it's just not fully balanced in terms of the flavours.
It's interesting, isn't it, when we do these things, your starting point kind of sets the bar, and you do wonder if we had them in a different order when
Absolutely,
we would be having a different experience of each of them. Because that's a really, really good cheese. But I think the first one we tasted was exceptional.
So the next one is 1085.
Sorry, did we finalise our score flavour for that one? So
Yeah.
Over we went 8.
it was 8, yeah. Okay.
So this is a lot more buttery in colour.
So 1085, yeah.
Yeah. It looks older. It looks like it's been around a bit longer. It's got a lot of
Quite a dark yellow, isn't it? It's,
yeah. It's very, very buttery, almost like Jersey cow sort of.
we don't know how long this slice has been cut, so but the blue on my piece, you know, again, it's got a nice distribution of blue. Doesn't quite go to the edge on both sides, but I mean, here I've got a centerpiece rather than from an end, so I've got the advantage of seeing it on all faces, and it looks pretty good in terms of blue distribution, really.
I think mine is perfectly
Yeah.
distributed. There's just maybe a little bit of a patch there, but kind of so what.
And I do wonder if those sort of more darker yellowy spots is where it's perhaps been, you know, been cut for a while before, but you know,
The rind is quite thick and gnarly,
it is. Yeah, it's a very different rind, isn't it?
especially down here, if you can see.
Yeah, but there's no moisture on there though. It's nice and dry.
Yeah.
Nice consistent. You know, the colour of the mould is nice and consistent. So again, I mean the yellow we did. I mean we're sort of speculating that maybe because of the when it was cut, but it does have and it's got this sort of heading towards a sort of pinky band underneath the rind.
Yeah.
So again, I'd go a bit lower on appearance on this one for those.
I would as well. It looks like it's been in the shop a little bit too long.
Would you say 7 for that?
Yeah. Okay. Aroma.
It's quite. This texture is reasonably firm, actually. Holds.
Oh, you're jumping ahead on aroma again.
You know, I keep missing aroma. I
Pulling
do.
you back. I'm pulling you back. I'm reining you in, man.
Yeah, again,
It's got that cellar
yeah,
cellar cheese room smell about it. I think it's really pleasant smell.
yeah. For me, there's no reason to
Yeah.
not score it the same as the others.
People might expect there to be a cheese like this to be more pungent. You know, like a Cabrales from Spain, which is just blows your head off, and it's not. It's actually really, it's
Yeah,
really mild and mellow and inviting
yeah.
aroma wise. I think it's a 9 aroma for me.
I think 9 on
I think it's got
aroma.
more character about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think no, the aroma is very good. Yeah, texture is a little bit firmer, but it holds together nicely.
It's a nice clean slice there, well, except for that nose bit. It's very firm. It's very
Yeah,
pressed.
but it's lovely and creamy. Breaks down nicely.
It's lovely and creamy. Amazing texture.
It just doesn't deliver the same level of piquancy as the others. It's there, but it's much more subtle in this one. And then suddenly I get a bit of a bitterness on the end. But as I say, you know, I'll be tempered by you on that because I do know my palate can be a bit bitter sensitive.
No, but I'll concur with the bitterness. I think the bitterness at the end ends up dominating. I think the texture is a 10, but I think the flavor is an 8. I think it doesn't have the sweet, brothy, salty complexity of the first one, and I think bitter note hangs around a bit too long at the end.
Yeah, and I find the actual blue itself is pretty mellow.
Yep.
But you know, I would expect a bit more blue to be coming through. But you know, it's nice looking and it's a clean piece of cheese. It's just bit different to the others, and just doesn't deliver all the same attributes as the others.
You agree with a 10 for texture and 8 for flavour?
Yeah.
Okay. And the final cheese in this class, 1145.
Yeah. So I've got a generous portion here.
A very generous portion.
Right.
They
So
do
again,
work, don't they?
I'm lucky enough to have a middle piece again here. So I've got lovely bluing all the way round. Goes pretty much up to the edge. Different rind. The rind has got a more of an orange hue to the rind.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
A little bit more moisture on there. Well, the others didn't have any moisture. This one's got a slight amount of moisture on it.
I don't think this
But
is going to.
visually, I think it's. I mean, I've got a bit of damage, but that's transit damage, so that's fine. You know, for me, visually, it's another 9. I think it's got a really good level.
Yeah, I mean that you couldn't get more consistent bluing than that. Right the way through, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So a 9 for that.
Yeah.
And aroma?
The aroma,
For me, the aroma's pretty much dominated by the rind, to be honest.
which is quite biscuity.
Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, I've got a kind of the whiff of rich tea and digestives from the rind. That's an old-fashioned biscuit for those who don't.
Even when I get into the centre of the cheese to pick up the aroma, it's sort of still lingering. So I keep demolishing my Miller's biscuits. Yeah. So I'm managing to avoid it on this piece. That's just.
Not crumbly. Holds together well, firm.
What score do you give for aroma?
I'm inclined to go for maybe a 7, because even when you get into the nose of the slice, you know, I've taken a piece away from the rest of the rind and to try it, but I'm still getting those aromas from the rind on it.
I'm getting a bit of ammonia from the rind.
Yeah, and you can get that through stages of the development of some blue cheeses, and often it will dissipate over time.
But I found it, you know, the background of that, the sort of the biscuitiness, I quite like that. I think
Yeah.
7's too low.
Okay, yeah, I'll go a bit higher. It's just for me, it's sort of permeating right through the cheese, which I find a little bit distracting. But yeah,
So we'll go 8
yeah.
on a
8
row.
for aroma, or that's
Yeah.
8 for aroma.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for texture?
Okay, I think we scored texture quite high again, didn't we? Did we do texture?
We haven't done texture yet, but it's a very clean cut. It's very, very it's firm, it's dense, it's creamy, it's the right amount of openness.
I'd say it's a 9 again for texture.
And then flavour?
I want to go with 10 for the texture. I just think that's got
I'm not happy to do
great
that.
mouthfeel.
Yeah.
10 for texture.
Yeah, because when I now add in the mouthfeel, it's got a really good mouthfeel as well.
And for taste, I think this is really, really well balanced. It's got the salt, it's got the sweet, it's got that famous piquancy that you talked about. It is just a shade under the first one for me.
Yeah.
A shade.
I've got I've sort of got a bit away from that rind now, and yeah, I agree. And there's a nice level of saltiness coming through on it as well, which I'd hope for. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just literally a point below the first one, really. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what, a 9 for flavour?
Yeah. So 9.
9.
Yeah.
But I think overall, when you're totting up the scores, I think the holistic thing for me is the first one felt right all the way round.
Yeah.
And hopefully that gets reflected in the score when we tot up.
Yeah. Because I've had to ponder on this one a bit more. Even though I really like it, I think it's got a good flavour and it's nicely balanced. But just that the rind just was a bit too much of a distraction.
Okay.
So we're going 9. Okay, going 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Lovely category to finish on.
yeah, so that makes of that round. C1 1056 is the winner with full marks.
Okay.
And then second was the one you've just tried, which is 1145.
Okay.
Second. And then we've got a joint third of the other two. So 1071 and 1085 are both joint third.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good result.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. They'll be published somewhere in due course, won't they? Because I didn't bring a pen and paper with me, but
Yes, we will be publishing them. So yeah, so thank you guys for
thank you
that
very much.
for Blue Stilton. It was really, really good, really interesting.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. Just want to thank our sponsors. So we're Butlers for our lovely aprons and for Miller's Crackers for providing crackers for the event, which is great. So thanks. Come back. We'll see all the winning classes. Cheeses in this class will go into the category final, which is on the 10th of June. And then the winners of that cheese will go into the final supreme judging on the 11th of June, which are all done live on YouTube and Facebook and our website. So please do come back and see that. And yeah, thank you for your time, guys. Really brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. That was a tough morning's work.
Yeah.
Thank you.